Okay, this is the job we're going to be doing today. This is my 2022 travel trailer camper, and I've been having a water problem. When my slide is shut, water's coming through here. So I've ordered a new seal. This is a wiper seal. I don't think this is the problem here because water shouldn't get in there when this is closed for this to be an issue. So it is wore out, so I've got a new piece. I've actually you can see it's kind of flimsy. It's not as stiff anymore. I think it was still working, but I don't think it's working properly anymore. It's time to change it. And somehow water, this is just kind of, there's no tears in it or anything like that. It's just kind of gotten misshaped. And I think that's the issue. And I'd already pulled this off, ordered the parts. I got the right part number. I ordered it from Amazon, but even when it came, it wasn't the right part number. I don't know if you can see right here. The piece I ordered was only about half that high, and so it wasn't really tall enough. And this part was right, and the whole measurement was right, and it was the same part number. However, this was not tall enough. It only went up about, I don't know if you can see that line across there, but it only went up about that's almost an inch. Instead of an inch, it only went up about a half an inch. And so it just wasn't tall enough, in my opinion, to hang on there, because all it does is clip on and you put a screw on each end. And so I ordered another piece that I checked the measurements on, and I've got this. And originally I'd ordered D channel. Everything I looked at was showing D channel, but mine is not D channel. There's actually I got this from Rec Pro. It was the only place I got it off of Amazon. It was hard to find. I didn't know what part to call it or what to look for, but I looked around, and finally found it. And mine, I'll show you how it does here. I'm just going to go ahead and pull it off. That was just a temporary fix I did to put it back on there. You can see mine has this piece right here, and it slides into that channel instead of over the channel. It looks like you could use the D stuff, and it was the right width, but there's no lip. It would have to go over here and down here, and there's no lip down here, and you'd have to dig all this caulk out to get a lip up here, so it just didn't work. It's not the same thing. Mine's a different type. So if you have this type, this is a 2022 Forest River Puma, and every video I could find on YouTube showed the D channel, and this is not D channel. Again, I can't remember what they call this, but I'll put a description, a link to it in the description so you can find it. But it's real easy to pull out and replace. It's just nothing to it. There's a screw on each end that screws. You can see the screw hole there. I didn't put it back in because I was going to replace this as soon as I got the right part. But we'll take this off first, cut one the same size as that, and then we'll pull this one off. And I've already taken it off part way, so I've already taken the screw out of that. It's not hard to get off at all. Now, how hard it's going to be to get on, we'll see, but it's pretty easy to pull out of there. And you can see there's leaves up under there. I'm going to clean that out real good. But I'm going to get all this off, and then we'll work on putting the new part on. Set my camera up here. Sorry for the jerkiness. Really hard to see what's going on. The glare is so bright out here today, but I'm going to put this up here and let you watch what I do. And we'll pull this part off, and then we'll put the new part on and go from there. But I hope this is going to fix my problem. That wasn't really the right kind of silicone I used. It was just some I had. I think it would work. It's not really a silicone. It's supposed to be more like what they use on these RVs anyway, but I went ahead and ordered some actual RV silicone, because when you're running down the highway 65, 70 miles an hour, these things bounce and bump and rattle, and wind blows on them. So, you know, you want the good silicone, because regular silicone just won't hold up to that very long. So don't use regular silicone. Use some of the stuff that's actually made for this. Again, if you're in a pinch and all you got silicone, it's not like it won't work. It's just not going to hold up long term, and you don't want to putting something on here that's not going to hold up long term. So I hope that makes sense. But anyway, I'm going to pause this and get all my materials together, get the rest of that piece off down through there, you can see, and we'll put this thing back together and hopefully solve our leak. But it's definitely coming in on the top up here. Maybe I need to I checked all this silicone here, and it looks good down through there, and I even touched up a few spots, but every time it rains, it leaks. What it'll do is it would come in on here, and when it's out, it's tilted down so it all flows away. But when you pull it in, it's tilted back towards the inside. So anything that gets through there runs out under that seal and drips off inside and runs down on the floor, and it was flooding the whole floor. And I came in several times. I thought it was a leak up on top. I've tried everything, but finally I just got the water hose and started spraying and figured out it's just coming in right here, across this seal, right across the top here somewhere. So I'm just going to replace all these seals and recalk everything, and then we'll try it again and we'll see where we go from there. But let me get all my materials together and we'll come back and get started on this. Okay, I took my old pieces that I took off and I laid them down on the ground down there and just laid these out next to them and cut them the exact same length. So I got the exact same. I just used a pair of these snips like this. Just cut it nice and smooth, real easy. These are just, I think these are 10 snips, just straight ones, but it cut it real easily. So if not, you could probably use this was a little harder to cut through here. This stuff and this right here was real easy. So you could cut that with just a box blade or something if you needed to. And I think it might take a little bit to work through that, but you could even do this with a box blade. Now, I'm looking at this stuff and you can see how it's designed to stick out, and mine was all had been flattened out. So maybe it wasn't making a good enough seal. The D channel I saw was a lot bigger than this. See, this is only like a ½ inch wide, maybe a little over a ½ inch. When it flattens, of course, it's probably closer to 3/4 of an inch. But the D channel I saw, that stuff was 3/4 of an inch, and when it flattens, it was probably 1.5 inches. So I just wonder if this is not a design flaw. I'm gonna put this back together the way it came. But if it continues, if I have any more leaking problems, or if I redo this again, I can tell you right now what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna remove this. The only reason I'm not doing it now is because it's a double piece and it creates a seam inside as well. And so you got to take that whole piece off, and then I lose the piece inside. So it's going to be a little more complicated to change all that out. And this is screwed in there, and I'd probably have to take my whole slide out to do that. So I'm just hesitant to do that. I don't think there's any other, maybe, yeah, I just don't think there's another way to do it. I think that is all designed together. Maybe that's a separate piece on there, but I don't think so. Pulling on it, I think it's all one piece. And I'm not really eager to get into all that if I don't have to. So I'm gonna see if this works. And we'll just kind of go, we'll put it together. I'm gonna put the water hose on. I'm gonna go get I'm ready to put this in. Before I do, I'm gonna go get my blower and blow all that stuff, blow everything off real good. And clean this up real good because I don't want all that behind there. So let me go get my blower. We'll do that. I cut this on the ground. It didn't show me cutting it. It's pretty simple. Just lay it out next to your piece you took off and take your pair of snips and snip it. You didn't need to see all that. So I think most of you can figure that out. But again, you see how this slides in there. It slides inside the track instead of over the edges of the track. And I just wonder if it's a design flaw. I hope it's not. Hope I don't put this thing back together after spending. I probably spent $100 on this stuff, maybe a little more. But if I do this and it still leaks, I'm going to be pretty upset. But I wonder if it's not a design flaw. It needs something thicker up here. Maybe I could put a second piece over here. I probably have enough left to do that. Well, I don't have the track it goes. I have to get the have to get the stick-on kind, and I don't know if it'll even stay on there. I don't want to put any screws through that. So we'll see. I'm gonna put it back together and we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna get my blower first and blow this and clean it up down through to get all those leaves and trash and stuff out, and then we'll put it back together. Okay, I blew this off. So there's no more, looks like I probably need to get down there and maybe scratch around a little bit. Nothing loose in there anyway, but you can see some water stains where water's been sitting right here. I don't know if it's coming across on the camera. The water's obviously been getting in there. You can see that all down through there. Looks like it was coming under right there. So we're gonna put this piece on, get it on first, and then put this piece back on. So I'm gonna film doing that and let you kind of watch me do it. I don't know how hard that's gonna be to get in there, but we will soon see. It was real hard to get the short stuff on there. Oh yeah, it just snaps right up on there. Probably gonna be easiest to do it. Yeah, that's not hard at all. That gives it a little firmer seat there too, yep. So maybe this will help. If water does get in there, this is probably the secondary way to keep it out. I think I'm gonna climb up on the roof. Okay. Yeah, this is pretty easy to get on here. It's nothing real difficult. It holds on there too. It's got some kind of little clips in there. Once it slides up easy, but it doesn't pull down as easy. Just make sure you get it all the way up on there. And that was cut pretty much perfect. So that was the right deal, was just cut exactly the same length. Okay, that's on there. Now let's see if we can slide the tubing in there. And this should be fairly straightforward as well. It just slides into that channel. Okay, I've tried everything impossible to slide that stuff in there. I even took this and pried it open on the other end, got it started about this far, and it won't move. It won't budge an inch. It's just too tight. And honestly, I think it's a design flaw anyway, because I don't think it's thick enough. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna order me a new piece of strip for this. And I know I told you this kind of goes up underneath there, and it's part of the inside. It's all made together, and you'd have to take that whole piece out. But I think what I'm going to do is take and just cut this off, just right along the top of this right here, and just cut this piece off and get me a new strip that's designed to work with the D-bulb. Order me the D-bulb, and of course it's a lot thicker, and I think that's going to solve my problem. I think that's going to be the easiest way to go. I don't know how easy that's going to be to cut off there with an angle iron. It shouldn't be too difficult, but I believe that's what I'm going to do. I might even go ahead and cut that off today. The only problem is I don't know how long it'll take to get my new piece. It might rain. It's supposed to rain in the next couple of days, so I might better wait to cut this off till I get my piece. But I've been working on this for 2 weeks and still don't have the right parts. And, I mean, I do have the right part, but it's just impossible. Evidently, that piece comes made in there, and they do sell a piece just, I mean, there it is right there. It's just like it. And I pulled that out of the top. I hope I can maneuver that back in there. I guess I can take a screwdriver and maybe shove that back in there. Either that or I just, I don't even want to think about trying to replace it because it's almost impossible. You cannot slide that stuff through there. I will say this piece is stiffer. It has like a piece of metal in there where that stuff that goes across the top does not. And the piece that was in there doesn't have the metal in it either. So the metal might be the trick because you might be able to get a little better grip, but just pulling on it is ripping and tearing, and by the time I'd already tore up that far on each end, and so the piece I'd had to really caulk it up, and it was already messed up, and so it's not a very good design. I'm just going to tell you, I think it's a design flaw. It needs the bigger, thicker D-bulb, and so I'm fixing to sit down and order it from Amazon and call this a half a fix because I think this is fine. This works good here. It's nice and stiff again. And we'll start over on this other and we'll get the right stuff and get it right. So anyway, if you have this type, I would recommend getting rid of it and getting the D-bulb and getting the piece of this bracket or whatever this is called, this piece of trim that the D-bulb fits on, and you should be good to go after that. So, but anyway, that's what I'm going to try to do, and we'll pick this back up when I get my new stuff, and I'll show you the finished product, how I did it. But anyway, going to wrap this one up for now. Okay, a little update here. I went ahead and I took a angle grinder and put a metal cutoff wheel on there, and I went just below that piece of rivet, that stuff that was in the way there, the old piece that didn't work right. And you can see where I cut it off all the way down through there. And I'm gonna come back and put the new piece on there with the D. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but you've got to buy the strip that it slides on. And I'm gonna put that on there, and I think that's gonna take care of my problem, because I think it should have had that thicker stuff on there to begin with. I spent 2 hours trying to slide that stuff in there, and all I did was tear the ends of it up, and there's no way you can put it in there. Evidently, they must have put it in there before they put it up. And it says it's replaceable, but I swear. But you can see I cut it off all the way down. I'll show you the piece down here that I cut off. It's probably ½ inch or something. See, this is the old piece, and it was supposed to, you can see where I cut it off along right up underneath there, but that stuff was supposed to slide along inside there. And I even pried this open here where it was easier and could get it to about here, and then I couldn't get it to move past that. It just wouldn't go. And I think the only reason I got it in the very end was because I filled it with grease. I finally got a lithium grease. But you can see I cut that whole piece off, and I'm fixing to order the new stuff right now. I'll probably just put some Gorilla Tape or something over that right now in case it does rain. We're supposed to get a little rain, nothing crazy. But I'll get a little Gorilla Tape and put over that just so the water can get in there till I can get it fixed. And I thought about caulking it, but I don't want to get a bunch of caulk in the way and have to clean that up. So I think I'm just going to it's actually some foam there, but water could get in that foam, and I still don't think it would get inside. I can put this back on my strip and keep the water out of there. So I think it's probably fine like it is, but I'll just put a little piece of Gorilla Tape down through there and just to make sure the water flows off, doesn't go down inside here. Clean all the rest of this up. And yeah, I'm going to order the part right now, and we'll screw that. It just screws on there, and then that stuff slides on it. And I think that's going to fix this problem. I'm just tired of fooling with it. I've had enough of it. And we'll make sure we don't have any more problem with it, because I just don't think this stuff You can see where I hit that with my angle grinder. I got to try to work that back in there too on each side, because I thought I had to pull that out so I could get to that little slot. Just pulled it back. I didn't want to pull too much because it's so hard to get in there. But this piece is a little different. It's real stiff, and it's like it has a piece of metal in it too that makes it easier. The other is just real loose rubber, and the piece I took off was just like that. And I don't know how I got it. There's probably some secret to getting it in there. Maybe I just couldn't figure it out, and I didn't have time. I didn't feel like, and I'm not convinced that it was going to work. That was the big thing. I just got tired of spending so much time on it, not knowing if it's even going to work. And then we have to come back and redo this anyway. So I just decided, you know what, I'm going to do this right. And I'm going to cut that piece off, and I'm going to get a piece of that D-channel rubber it's about that wide, and it's twice as wide as this and twice as thick. And I just think that will make sure it closes up solid. I won't have no more problem with it. So that is my plan. All right, we got our new parts in here, and I tried to just find this D channel, but I could not find it anywhere. You see, just the D channel. All I could find was D channel with the wiper strip on it. So I just went ahead and bought this. I bought a cheaper brand of it because I'm not really using the wiper strip. I only need the D channel. So I cut my piece what I needed up top. I'll show you what I did here. So here's my original piece of my wiper strip right under here. My new piece. I put a new piece of that on. I need to glue this. I bought some rubber glue. And I just went ahead and put this, and what I figured with this, it just acts as an additional, even though it's not really hitting down here and wiping anything or keeping water. Any water that does seep in there should hit that and run over, and then maybe run on off. But this thing is so much thicker. I slid this on the D channel. You see my screw I put in there. You can see my screw I put in right there. I think you can see that on my, so my wiper seal doesn't come loose. Now I'm going to caulk this. I'm going to clean this with some denatured alcohol. And then I'm going to use RV sealant. I'm going to seal up between the roof and this bulb all the way down. And then I'll fill all this other stuff in here, glue this down. And you can see just how much thicker this is, and it's stiffer, and I just think it's going to work better than my original stuff did. I just think that other stuff was a design flaw. It wasn't thick enough. That's going to give me a good seal, I do believe, because this stuff is a lot thicker, a lot better quality than the previous stuff. So I'm going to get my alcohol. I'm going to clean this, and then we'll caulk it. Then I'll come back and I'll glue all this, and I'll come back and show you the finished product. I may leave this up here and just let you see me, watch me cleaning it and caulk it if you want. All I'm going to do is just take me a rag and some denatured alcohol and clean this down through here, and then come back and put my RV silicone on there all the way down, seal up these ends, make sure there's no cracks in there anywhere, and I think I'll be good to go. And I'll give you an update after the next rain. So anyway, I'm going to pause it here, and I'll come back and show you what I got done. Okay, we're going to clean this up with a little alcohol now, so the caulk will stick good. wasn't very good, didn't know what they were doing. Probably not their usual people, that kind of thing. Now, here's what I'm using. Best USA RV seal non-leveling. It says for wet or dry application, creates a watertight seal, superior adhesion, UV resistance, made for RVs. And it had a good rating, so I thought I'd try it. Hopefully I'm getting the camera back where you can see down through here. I need to tip off this thing. It doesn't say on here whether it's white or clear, but I ordered clear. But it's probably like anything nowadays, you never get what you order or pay for. I don't have time to send it back. I'm not gonna worry about how good this looks just yet. All right, that's not real happy with the way that looks. But I didn't have no choice because I can't afford to. You can't get the stuff locally where I'm at, and you can see it down through there. It's shiny and white, but it's not going to leak anymore, I don't think. Pretty sure I'm going to solve my issue with that. I caulked up the ends of those tubes just to make sure no water gets in them. Now I need to get my rubber glue and glue these down. This should be folded over like so. This one probably fold it down to there. There's no way water could get down between here anymore because I've sealed between there and the D-bulb. And I don't know if it was coming over the D-bulb or down behind it, but it actually could have been doing both. I don't think we'll have that problem now. This bulb's a lot thicker, a lot more robust. Then we've got this secondary wiper strip that's not doing any wiping. It just kind of diverts water out down through there. And then behind that, I got my wiper strip. So I'm gonna go get my rubber glue and glue this down, and then we'll come back and do once over it on again and show you what it looks like. Okay, this is what I'm gonna be using to glue this with. It's called Loctite. I imagine this is a Chinese knockoff of Loctite, some kind of Loctite product. It says it's glue for rubber, quick dry, waterproof. Had a high rating on Amazon, so that's what I'm gonna try. See if we can get you in here zoomed in on the right spot. But it says to squirt it on there and give it 30 seconds. And let's start with the one under here. It actually said to clean it first. I probably should have cleaned it. Let's just try it and see. Something going on out there. I don't know what it is, but put a little more right there too, just to be sure. All right, it seems to be holding. It says to give it 24 hours, so we won't try to move. Won't try to shut this thing for 24 hours. Let's go to the others. Clean that surface. A little too much on there. It's running down like crazy. And again, this secondary wiper seal is really not doing anything other than maybe just diverting the water out. Just an extra way to divert the water out. Nothing more, really. That's tough. That didn't stick for nothing there. May not have held it long enough. It says hold it for 30 seconds, so I'm gonna hold this one a little longer. And I'll give you an update on how well this Looktot works. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm guessing it's Looktot. Looctot. Looktot. So I would pronounce that, just reading it. So I'll report back how well it holds up. But I think they're trying to copy Loctite. I imagine Loctite makes some of this stuff. I just found this one on Amazon. First one that came up. I think it was the Amazon choice. And it had a good rating. So I bought it. About 8 or 10 bucks. 10 bucks probably by the time I paid taxes. I think it was $8 or $9. That one seems to be holding. Actually, I want to glue the other side. I'll clean this one up real good. It's not really making the best contact right there. I don't think it's gonna matter. All you don't want is make sure this corner don't flop up. This has to stay folded over here, and that's the point of that. I don't think that's coming off there, or that's coming off either. So I think it's good. We'll watch it. If I need to, I'll come back and re-glue it. But there it is. I think I'm gonna call that a fix for now, and I'll let you know after it rains. But I don't think this thing is gonna leak anymore. You can see I caulked it good on the end up underneath there. And all the way down, and this bulb's a lot thicker and more stout than my other bulb was. My other bulb was about half this thick, and it was real flexible. It wasn't nearly as stiff as this one. So I think it's going to close up well against this edge now. and hopefully we'll get a good seal. But I'll let you know. I'm probably just going to take a water hose and spray it on it when I'm going to let this dry good before I shut it. I don't want to shut it up and this stuff being still soft. I don't think. I'm going to let it get good and dry. Then we'll shut it up and we'll test it, and I'll report back what we get. But you can see it. Again, what we did was I had the original clip-on seal down here. The stuff that I ordered was really good. It was a good quality, so I left it on there. I did put a screw on each end just to keep it up there, but it clips on and it's hard to pull off once you get it on there. And so I got that on there, and when I went to put my, I don't know what I think that other was called a track bulb. It slid in a track like this piece. It slid in there. It didn't go, it wasn't a D-bulb like the other where it goes over the edges. It snaps down in there, and I could not get it in there. You're supposed to start it on one end and slide it, and I tried everything, and the stuff just tore all to pieces trying to slide it in there. So I gave up, and I went and I ordered a new, I looked for just a piece of track because I know they make a track. I couldn't find it on the internet though, and I was just tired of messing with it. So I ordered a whole nother, I mean, it was easy to find this wiper strip with the D-bulb track already attached to it. And you just peel and stick it on there, and I put screws in it too. So there's screws that screw the track to the top of the camper here. So it's not gonna come loose from there. I put a lot of screws in it, probably more than it needed. And then I slid my D-bulb on there, which is this part. I put a screw in each end down there and here, so this can't move. And I came back and caulked it with my beautiful white caulk there that was supposed to be clear, that they sent me the wrong stuff. So I don't know what that's going to look like when I shut it. You probably can't see it because this is going to probably push up over it anyway. And this edge may cover it. So it may not be noticeable. I'm going to get out and just kind of see what it looks like from the ground. I mean, you can't see it anyway. It's up high. So you can't even see. You can see it on that edge right there. But that's about it. And I could take some black or something and put over that and hide it maybe. I got a piece on my rubber there I need to clean off. I didn't clean that up quite as good. It looks kind of ragged right there. I could just tape around that and spray paint it, I guess, too. Spray paint it black. I think it says it's paintable. I'll have to read the instructions again, but I think it said it was paintable. If it is, maybe I'll just tape around it and spray paint it black just so it's not so noticeable. But you can't see it otherwise. You can see the bulb. It's all above that bulb, so I think it's going to be fine. I'm not going to be trying to impress anybody from the sky. There it is. I'm going to call that a fix, and I'll update you later as to how well that glue held and if I got the leak fixed. But I know that's where it was leaking because I took the water hose and sprayed the whole camper, and the only place it was leaking was coming in around that wiper seal up there. So all that's been replaced now. I think that's going to fix it. Again, I'll update you at a later date and let you know. Thanks for watching.